Schmidt, owner of Tranquility Rising here in Blue Ash, Ohio. We're just outside of Cincinnati. And I'm really excited to be talking about our upcoming level 1 Thai yoga Meridian therapy training. Many people know Thai yoga in several different names. So Thai yoga massage, Thai yoga therapy, Meridian massage, just Thai yoga. Whatever the case may be, it is the practice of combining yoga assisted stretching with gentle rocking and movement, as well as mindfulness, breath coaching, and actual physical acupressure on the meridian lines. So you get a few different modalities all in one. I always like to say, if you have never experienced a Thai yoga session with me or really anybody, you could think of it as a combination of taking a yoga class where you don't have to do anything, seeing your chiropractor, because the movements that we do create gentle, non-specific adjustments. So just because we're moving the body will move back into alignment. And then massage. So 3 modalities wrapped into one to give you this euphoric, overall amazing sensation. But what makes the training that I provide versus, just another Thai yoga massage training is we're going to go through several different steps so that by the end of your training, you'll have a better insight of how to connect with your clients, not only on the physical aspect. So yes, you're going to learn how to make your client feel better physically, but we're also going to tie in the spiritual side of things and the emotional side of things. And because I have been through so many different trainings in my life, going all the way back to when I was in college, if I pull up my certifications, there's probably thousands and thousands of hours of dedicated time that I've put in to kind of move past the idea of Thai yoga being just another massage, but as a full mind, body, spiritual connection where we actually give you the tools to get out of this constant pain that the body's under, or reduce these triggering moments that, might have been formed from an emotional side. So what it's going to look like to kind of work with me in our upcoming training. And I'm really excited because anytime I do a training, I always end with a retreat, because you guys work so hard and diligently to learn the skills and the materials that you guys all deserve a retreat at the end. So we do our test out in multiple different destinations. And if you want to know where we're headed, just make sure to head over to tranquilityrising.com and really check out the full details of our upcoming training. So I want to talk a little bit about what this is going to look like. We're going to spend a third of our time virtually. This allows us to spend a little bit more time on the spiritual aspect and the emotional aspect without constantly hammering the body. And this way you have time to process. So you're going to learn how to create sacred space, which means we're going to call in the lineage of the Thai masters. We're going to call in your own personal lineage to help assist you in any way that they can help. We're going to connect with your own personal spirit guides. And if you don't know who those are, not a problem. We will figure that out together. And then as we do this calling in of our sacred space, we like to call it puja. So puja is just a prayer that we do at the beginning and the end of every session. This allows us to open up the energy field so that we can truly be connected with our client, maybe their energy, their spirit guides, their ancestors, whatever it is that needs to come through. This is the time where we create sacred space. And then obviously we're going to do this at the end again, because we do not want to carry any of their energy with us, and vice versa. We want to make sure that they are protected and they leave our space ready to tackle whatever came up during session. So that comes on the spiritual side of things. Next, we kind of move into the more of the physical practice. So the rest of our time outside of our online sessions are going to be the physical practice, because yes, we need as much time as we possibly can to run these 12 major meridian lines, to understand specific pressure points, to work on all types of body, because over the years, I have worked with people who are the most flexible I've ever experienced, where they can go into the splits like it's nothing, to a person who literally can't even sit on the floor without tipping over because they are so tight. So we want to be able to kind of call in some of maybe my old clients or friends and family, so you can really work to understand different body types and how you might have to adjust the basic recipe, is what I like to call it, our basic recipe of how we move through the body. How can you problem solve on the go? How can you understand that not everything is going to move smoothly? And so we have to be prepared and not kind of freak out when we don't have that ability to keep going through the same patterns that we learned initially. So we learned the 12 major meridians, and each of these 12 major meridians are connected to one of the 5 lower chakras. So when I say 5 lower chakras, I mean chakra 1 through 5. These are the chakras that we are supposed to be able to help control or manipulate in our day-to-day life to create a greater balance. And you'll see the star chart coming up on the screen here in a moment. So this chart that I've created, I actually created when I was in India. I was so overwhelmed with all the information that I was learning that I could not figure out how to put it all together until I created this star chart. The 5 element star chart is, a Chinese medicine chart, but obviously there's a lot more information on mine. And that really allowed me to deep dive with clients, because it wasn't just me talking about all of this woo-woo stuff that maybe new clients aren't familiar with, but it actually gave them this tangible pathway to understand what we were talking about. So we'll learn those 12 major meridian lines, where they go on the body, what awareness questions they relate to, how do we balance these. We will also explore the 5 different body positions of Thai yoga. So when we say body positions, this just means how they're laying on the floor mat. So first supine is face up, side lying, prone is face down. We do a second supine, which is considered our digestion day and limp day. And then we also do a seated day. So 5 separate different postures. Level 1, you're going to learn the basics of each of these postures to give a really good 90-minute to 2-hour session. In future trainings, if you decide to go with me, we're going to start to learn how to dissect each one of those 5 sides of the body into its own 90-minute sequence, so that you can create a really proper protocol for your clients, so that they're really getting the maximum benefits of what Thai yoga can offer. So again, at the end of your training, you have a full 90-minute to 2-hour yoga session, Thai yoga session. You'll be able to take them through a generic balancing routine. So that means, if they are deficient in their root element or water element, how can we give them some suggestions on how to fix that, or just shift a few things in their life. We'll go over a few basic yoga postures for each one of the meridian lines, because we should be able to provide homework for our clients. We're trying to get out of the mindset of this is just a feel-good massage, right? We don't want that to come into our practice. We want to make sure that we are holding a sacred container, and a container that really allows our clients to go into that next phase of their life, whether it's getting out of the physical pain, moving through a transitional period in their life. Wherever they're coming to meet you, we want to provide them with the tools outside of session, so when they come back, we're not working the same thing over and over and over. How many times have you experienced like a massage and you go in, or maybe you just know people that go in, they're just like, oh, my shoulders are so tight, and they're almost proud of that aspect. They're like, I bet you've never experienced someone with such tight shoulders. And they're proud of that. This is this Western culture that we're trying to get out of. Like, you shouldn't be proud that your shoulders are so tight. That means that you're carrying too much of a burden, or maybe you're a perfectionist or a control freak, or whatever the case is. So when your client comes in with these types of things, like, what can you do to give them this awareness that, they don't always have to say yes to certain things. They don't have to go into this martyr space. We want to create like this mind-blowing aha moment the first time that they come in for a session. And we have to stop looking at Thai yoga massage as just, oh, look at this unique interesting. I feel really good stretching a massage. I like this. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, let's take that deeper. I know my personal business would have never been thriving to the point that it is today without taking it to this next level. People don't want to just come in for another massage. They're coming in for true transformation, true healing, true acknowledgement that, you know, they're not crazy. Western medicine is saying it's just in their head or there's nothing they can do. Like, we're here to bridge that gap of true holistic health. So hopefully this is getting you really pumped up, because I get really passionate when I talk about this. I get really passionate when I'm coaching my clients through this. And I am just really, really excited to be able to bring you guys on this journey with me and really create this shift in how people see Thai yoga therapy. So again, you can go on to tranquilityrising.com, head under the training section, and it will detail out kind of everything that I've been talking about. It will give you the specific dates for our upcoming training. So you'll see those virtual days, and then you'll see those in-person studio days. And the best part is, if you're not local to Cincinnati, this is why we have half of the sessions online. And then we meet every other week for this upcoming training. That might shift for future trainings, but right now we meet every other week. So, you know, if you're just in town for the weekend and you need to do a Saturday, Sunday, staying at an Airbnb or a hotel for one night doesn't get too expensive. And I can always give suggestions for where to kind of stay in Cincinnati. And then the last part is that retreat space. So the current retreat that we have coming up is headed to Guatemala. That might change depending on what section of our training that we're in moving forward. And normally we spend anywhere between 5 to 7 days on this retreat. And when we talk about retreat, I want you to think about, this is not the main purpose of the retreat is not to continue your training there. The main purpose of the retreat is to gain space, because as we know, or you will learn, that space helps us to create the vision for what we want to do moving forward. So after we learn all of this training, and now you might be sitting there going, okay, great, I really love this. I really want to do this. Now what? But you never give yourself the time to formulate that space. That's what the retreat is for. I'm there to do one-on-one coaching with each and every one of you for an hour, just to discuss, you know, what does it look like to keep moving forward? How do you want to use Thai yoga? Do you want to use it for more of personal knowledge and self-growth, or do you want to, you know, move into your own business, or potentially even join me at Tranquility Rising? I'm always looking for practitioners who can help because I am so busy. And then the rest of the time, you're going to do one test out. So it's either going to be a test out on me or one of the other retreat goers, or maybe your fellow student. And I'm just going to be there to observe, kind of give feedback and whatnot. And then after that, so, you know, not very much, like maybe one day full of stuff over an entire 5 to 7 days span. We'll be doing the finishing off of our training, but then after that, you get to really rest, relax, find space for personal time, to work on that vision, to, you know, go out and venture off into whatever the retreat center is offering, and just allow everything to settle into place. I know when I did my first training, like my first big training, I ended up spending 30 days in India. And when I got back from that trip, we were so go, 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 train, train, train. I got back and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't remember half the routine. I didn't feel comfortable talking to clients. I was really in the mindset of that massage-based session versus the coaching and massage and yoga and everything else that we can bring to a person. And it took me a secondary training where I was solely focused on doing Thai yoga for 2 weeks in Costa Rica. And it gave me an abundant amount of time. Like, we always had breaks in the afternoon to kind of sit, journal, you know, go for a hike, whatever it was. It took me those 2 weeks to finally sit down and create that vision board, that timeline, the action steps, create my pricing, my programming, like everything and anything that I needed to start my business. It took that dedicated time where I gave myself space. So that is the ultimate reason that we head out for a retreat, because it's so easy to just fall back into the patterns of life. You know, if you have a family, the demands of, you know, your husband, wife, whatever it is, children, like it's just nonstop. So how can we open ourselves up to feel worthy of taking that personal one-on-one time with ourselves to understand what it is that we want to go moving forward? I'm really excited to be seeing you guys very soon. If you have any questions, always reach out to me. There's a contact section on the website. You can email me, whatever it is. I have my contact information at the end of this screen. And yeah, I just welcome you to explore this new way of thinking about what it is to work with people on a genuine level, where we're not really money motivated, but we are motivated by the personal growth of others, and then abundance comes in line with that. So I will leave that with you guys, and I just cannot wait to see you at this upcoming training.